Showtime!
It's about that time.
Let's go!
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah!
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
Yes. I am back for another show. This is Nova Phoenix, your host on GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio. And man, I can't wait to get into this show, man. How has your week been? How's your week been? Let's all settle in, whatever we're doing. We got a little bit of a show for you guys. A lot of topics been going on this past week, and it is going to be great just to, go over it. So, so let's just get right to it because we just got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm going to set my timer because, I always got to get my time right so I don't go over, so I can just check to see what I'm doing. All right, we're good to go. And the only thing that I forgot was my water because I already feel that I feel a little dry. It's all good. All right, so what is going on? All right, I'd like to say first and foremost, it is extremely unfortunate to find out about the untimely passing of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman died last Friday, unexpected to all of us, and it was crushing to everyone around the world. Twitter, and I believe it was Twitter, the posting of Chadwick Boseman got the most likes ever in Twitter history. Got the most retweets. That goes to show that everyone was shocked, utterly shocked, and destroyed to find out about his passing, and nobody knew that he had cancer. Nobody knew. This man lived his life like a true king, not the fictional king of Wakanda as Black Panther, but he lived his life like a true king. To know that your time, and we all know that our time is numbered, but when you have a situation medically that's happening to you where you know the absolute time frame of your passing. Doctor says you have 2 to 3 years to live. That is so sobering and eye-opening. And you have to think, imagine his thoughts. What would you think if a doctor says that you only have a limited time to live? How would you live it? It's one of those questions that are asked of us during interviews or when we're doing group chats with our friends or whoever. If you only had a limited time to live, what would you do with your time? And this man decided not to tell anyone because he didn't want anybody to pity him. He didn't want anybody to feel sorry for him. He kept it to himself, and he lived his life as it was his bucket list. And the only thing that he had on his bucket list was his life that he had with him right now. The fact that he lived his dream. He lived his dream of acting. He lived it. That's what he wanted to do. And he did it through every movie. He did it through every piece that he came across. And he put his heart, soul, and spirit into it, knowing that his time was limited. That man was gracious. He was honorable. He was caring from what people are talking about him on the internet. Everyone that has worked with him in the business. To know your time is limited and treating like that moment in true enough was his last moments. And he didn't want that, and he lived it with a smile. He lived it with happiness. He lived it with love. He lived it with being in the company of the ones he cared most about and the ones he most respected. And to think about it, to know that he had colon cancer. I mean, he did, from his years of the movies, his early years, he did The Express, the Ernie Davis story, The Kill Hole, 42, of course, about Jackie Robinson, draft day, get on up playing James Brown. He was in Gaza, Egypt. I didn't see that whole movie, but it's all good. He did Captain America Civil War, Message from the King, Marshall, Black Panther, of course, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, 21 Bridges, The Five Bloods, and there was one more movie he was doing. And to know that he was fighting this for 4 years, that means when he did Marshall, when he did Black Panther, when he did Captain America Civil War, around that time is when he knew, and he carried it all the way through. And that man, oh man, it hurt a lot of people, man. But there's no other way to live. And I think the key to life, he gave us that answer. The key to life is to find your passion, live every moment like it's your last, and truly cherish the time that we have, because we don't know when it ends. And you never want to have those regrets. And you want to push through knowing that you are living your life as you feel that you have been born with or born to do. I like to give it up to Chadwick Boseman, to this beautiful soul. And I wish we could have seen so much more of him. But now he's with the ancestors. So rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. I'd like to give all that love to his family and his friends, his wife. He was a joy. He was teaching up to the very end. Thank you, Chadwick. Thank you so much. The next one is 39 missing children were found in Georgia, and they arrested 9 suspects linked to the case. There was so much going on, I guess. I'm surprised that this wasn't a bigger story, that 39 children were found in Georgia. And there was a number of different ones, ranging in age, but thank God that they were found. And this is something that, we all have to be diligent on in our communities, man. So I like to give it up to everyone that actually contributed to finding those kids. That's a beautiful thing. What else is going on? Speaking of children, this is the crazy part. NFL star Michael Strahan. And I just found this out. Second wife, Jean Mugley, wants him to pay more child support. Now, this is crazy. Now, I understand this. I really, truly don't understand this. So she was married to him for 6 or 7 years, right? She was married to him for 6 to 7 years. They finally had a set of twins, and 20 months after these kids were born, his twin daughters, they filed for divorce for whatever reason. I don't know, right? So they settled for $15.3 million. Count them. Let's count them, folks. Count them. $15.3 million. And $15,000 of that money, or not even of that money, but separately, he would have to pay per month for child support. That's crazy. And now she's coming forward and saying he is underpaying the monthly payments, and she wants more, so her daughters can have horseback riding lessons. What? Wait, what? Wait, whoa. Yo, you already have $15.3 million. Why do you need any more? And why do those kids need horseback riding lessons? I don't get it. How come you can't do it? Why don't you take it out of that $15.3 million of that money that he cut you? I don't understand why she's coming for more money. I don't understand. Now, it said in another article, the reason why, supposedly, in another article, ever since he retired, they reduced his child support payments from $15,000 a month to $13,000 or something like, or $10,000 or whatever. Is she talking about that? I don't know. Is he fulfilling his duty to pay his money? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, why do you need any more? And she actually was like, because they had beef before, and Mugley refused to release the girl's passport because something they didn't want to travel to Europe or something with Michael Strahan. And she said she wouldn't release the passports until he paid damn near $45,000 for horse maintenance. I'm like, wait, whoa. See, this is the problem, man. This is the problem, all right? it's the greed, man. It's the sliding. I don't know what happened for them to divorce, but it's getting over the top. I blame these greedy ex-wives, and I blame these blood-sucking lawyers, I swear. Because, of course, the lawyers are saying they get a percentage. So they're like, no. You can get more. This is ridiculous. That's Michael Strahan. Of course you can get more. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. Come on, man. And then the fool, this dude, he married even the second time. That's his second wife. So he didn't learn from the first. And then now he's going through the situation with the second. And now, what I hear, he's married again. I'm like, yo, Brett, play. Are you stupid? Can somebody throw a football at Michael Strahan's neck? Something happened while he playing football. Because goddamn, this brother ain't learning. How the hell? Man, that hurt my heart. This is over the top. It's over the top. Now, I don't mind. I understand. He's with her. She put some time in, and she deserves to get some money. All right, I get that. But goddamn, why are you coming back? You have money, man. You have everything you need. This is ridiculous. And it's so same thing I hear about what's happening with Dr. Dre's wife. There's some beef going on. I really thought it was going to be like a cool settlement. Like it was going to be a lot of, choppy waters happening because of that whole separation. But obviously, Dre's now ex-wife, they're having some issues because it's a prenup or something or whatever. And there's some issues. She want money. Oh, man. I tell you, boy. Listen, this marriage thing, this piece of paper thing, it is a headache. Oh, Jesus Christ. I ain't got no words for Michael Strahan. I ain't got no words because he's swimming in the dough because he keep on doing the same thing over and over. Man, listen, I don't know if I'm getting married. If I'm Michael Strahan, I think the second wife, getting married is behind me, I tell you. Yo, not happening, man. The laws in this country, I'm saying, oh my God, this is crazy. Cutthroat City, a movie that was directed by RZA. Written by P.G. Cushieri, starring Demetrius Shipp Jr., Shameik Moore, T.I., Wesley Snipes, Ethan Hawke, such and so forth, right? So this movie is about some kids. The setting is in post-Hurricane Katrina in the heart of New Orleans. And these four characters, they don't have no job. They have no way out. So they decide to do some kind of a heist. And of course, the heist goes wrong. And then you have to figure out who's loyal, who's not, who's going to turn on them. And it involves bad police and a warlord who thinks they stole the money. So it sounds pretty good. I think that's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to seeing RZA direct or see how he's coming out with it. So I always encourage people to do more in the business that they're in. This is the thing, though. So I'm all flipping through IG and I'm scrolling through, and I just see Cutthroat City promo posts, and I'm like in the theater near you. I'm like, hold on, who is the person that's handling the social media for this damn movie? The marketing social media for this, because there ain't no theaters open. And then I go to the comments in the post, and it's like everybody's like, "What are you talking about? There's no theaters open." I'm like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Can somebody like stop that campaign? Right? Let's rewrite it and say available in such and such, or who you talk to, who you need to talk to, because the damn there ain't no theaters. You got to put it out on Vudu or whatever other movie streaming site. Come on now, let's get this straight." Because I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't even know where to see it. And I even looked for it on Vudu and all those other movie streaming sites. And I couldn't find it for rent or to purchase. So, I don't know, man. They need to do something with that. But I'm looking forward to it. It's an all-star cast. And looks pretty good. Okay, the other thing is, what's going on now? What else is going on? Ty Dolla Sign. All right, so it seems like he got a video out because I'm just scrolling through. A lot of times I go to allhiphop.com. I like what I see with allhiphop.com, so I check them out from time to time. Man. So Ty Dolla Sign, Ty Dolla Sign. That's what happens when I need some water. I can't. You know what I mean? Even when I don't have water, I freaking trip over my words. But whatever. Anyway, so Ty Dolla Sign got a new video out. It's called Expensive, featuring Nicki Minaj, of course. Nicki doing her thing. You want me to be honest about the song? I'm going to be honest. I don't like it. It's trash. It's trash. The song is trash, and I'm saying that kindly because I've heard Ty Dolla Sign's other songs previously released, and they sound good. I'm like, oh snap, that's hot. It's got a little melody. Cool, I like it. This particular song, not good. Not good. It is terrible. Nicki's part is cool. I can dig Nicki's part. Nicki has always been a lyricist. That's one thing. So I always know she got her lyrics tucked. Like when she's ready to go, and you ask Nicki to hit a hot 16 or 8, whatever the case may be, on a feature, she will do her job. So that's, you don't even have to worry about Nicki half-assing it. So yeah, but that song was trash, and especially now you see the video, and it's him about it, having an expensive life, and you see cash flowing out the pockets, all the bags come out the car when he opens the trunk. And right now, I don't know. For right now, I'm not, man. The song wasn't even good. I guess if the song was good, then I can say, all right, I'll let it pass. But because the song was trash, because the song was trash, you start looking at everything else, and I'm like, so typical. There's no thought to this. It looks like the 20 other videos that I've seen already. Yeah, you got a model. And then one other thing that I noticed too. So they got a model in the video. I guess they open up the video with the model getting out the car. She says she has her stuff in the trunk. She's telling Ty Dolla Sign. And this is the funny thing. So she's playing this part to Ty, right? So she's like, all right, baby, I'll see you later. Something she says to him. So they go in for the, movie, quote unquote, movie kiss, because they got to do it. Yo, this woman was so uncomfortable. She kind of like was going in and decided halfway through that she wasn't going to follow through. So she missed his mouth or something like that. It looked mad. And then she couldn't even keep eye contact with it, but they keep on. I'm like, yo, where was the third or fourth take? And where was the director? Because I know if I'm the director, I'm like, wait a second, we got to do that again. Play the part, please. I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care. Ty, freshen up your breath. Come on, let's do this scene over because it looks suspect. No, they went with the take. And the girl was like, come on. It was so corny. So it didn't start out well. Please, people, see that video Expensive, and you see what I'm talking about. I'm like, wait a second. They ain't want to do another take of this one? Oh, man. Get another girl. She don't want to do it. She don't want to follow through. Get somebody else. But that whole song was trash. The video was trash, whatever. So we're just gonna get into, because there's a lot to talk about. We are going to get into a song. The songs for the first of the show, because there's so much. I don't have to break it up into segments. That there's just so much things that were going on for the week. I'm like, man, forget it. I'm just gonna talk on these topics, and we'll break it up into segments as how you guys know we do here. So we're gonna open it up with Joonie. Everybody knows Joonie. We played his song on the show before, but he's got a new project out. And I'm going to tell you guys after the show, because, again, I always miss something. There's no matter what, I think I got, okay, I'm ready. There's little pieces of information on it, but that I forget. Anyway, so this song is off of his new project. I will tell you when we come back. His song is called Beautiful, featuring Tweet. Everybody knows Tweet, the R&B singer that we all know and love. So he got on this joint, so check it out. Joonie, Beautiful, featuring Tweet. And right behind my man is That Young Lad with his new project called Grease on his song. Well, the song's called Grease. The project is called Till the Wheels Fall Off. All right, so we'll get into Joonie, and then we'll follow it up with That Young Lad. All right, we'll be back, y'all. Peace.
Baby, you're beautiful. Baby, you're beautiful. Yeah. Don't you take your smile away. Baby, you're beautiful. How do I tell you I love that you're different? your smile away. 'Cause baby, you're beautiful.
You've got something special. I understand sometimes it's hard to see. Ooh, when the world is hanging on your shoulders, baby, can you trust me? Look to the sky, there's a billion stars, but none compare to who you are. Times get hard, you're natural. You can conquer anything, don't let go. And remember, baby, you're beautiful. Baby, you're beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Don't take your smile away. Baby, you're beautiful.
You're the one and only. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And baby, you're beautiful. Baby, you're beautiful.
Yes, you are.
Don't you take your smile away. 'Cause baby, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I want to hear more. GCOM Radio.
I'm ripped as shit, I told my homie I was on some acid. I passed the joint behind the back, I'm thinking that I'm magic. Some people ask me what's the point, if it ain't lavish. Honestly, you sounding tragic, go ahead, jump out in traffic. Man, I really hope I never live that type of life. You know the ones where you tossing and turning through the night. Homie, you asking me why you can't sleep at night? Go get a peace pipe, motherfucker, see Christ. Man, I used to write my rapping shit and really felt nervous, until it hit me that this rapping shit was my purpose. Okay, you know just how we get it, smoking the purple. But you know me, LD, done keep it nerdy like Urkel. Because I'm colder than a freezer, kill you like freezer. Dope diesel, daddy dick, bitch, pussy pleaser. Master Roshi with the skills, ho, you just got ethered. Don't take shots at the fam or I'll get even. Yeah, I'll get even. All up on the weekend, jump up in the deep end. Homie, we can't be friends, ain't no need to pretend. Never need a pretense, you know I've been beastin'. You could keep them secrets, you motherfuckers leeches. I need them G's, the ranks and things. Homie, know this shit come back around like a boomerang. Chopping down trees like it's Christmas, call me Frosty. All I need's a pipe, a hat, a carrot, cut the coughing. I'm that King Cole, hit the vocal top chart. It can't forget piano, melody, mezzo soprano. When I park it, I say that cause it takes me couple times for I succeed. Bite the bullet, blaze a trail and break a piston like Rashid. Fuck a cunt named Donald Trump, he the epitome of greed. Feel my wrath, you fucking sloth, saturated gluttony. Proudly envying your daughter, dude, you lusting for your seed. Charge you 7 times, boy, no money back, guarantee. Now, Dizzle do the banking, bruh, I hit you with the fees. 5-4 from I'm climbing stalk high up in the trees. Till up in the cipher, big mistake, they shouldn't let me on. The dues must be paid, authoritative, get my levy on. Demand the rock, I need my carries. I think I'm levy on. A massive failure in your defense, should've prepped, I'm ready for the season. Yeah, for the season. All up on the weekend, jump up in the deep end. Homie, we can't be friends, ain't no need to pretend. Never need a pretense, you know I've been beastin'. You could keep them secrets, you motherfuckers leeches. I need them G's, the ranks and things. Homie, know this shit come back around like a boomerang.
Sounding off around the world. You are listening to GCOM Radio.
All right. Yeah, that was Joonie with the song Beautiful featuring Tweet. Where has she been, man? Still looking for some of those jewels that I think she got her latest album that was released in 2019, I think. But yeah, that was Joonie with Tweet. The song's called Beautiful, off of his project Yellow Dust. Go check it out on any music downloading sites. And that young lad with his song Grease, Till the Wheels Fall Off. The brother's got some bars, man. He definitely wants to let people know that he got the bars for y'all, any of y'all. So yeah, man, that's what's up. So we're gonna go into continuing into this segment. But before we continue, there was one piece of information I forgot. And this is not so much, I already wrote my notes, but I wanted to mention it, and I totally forgot. That's why I write notes. And I think I'll remember it after I do Business of the Week. All right, let's listen to this. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bringing you the business of the week and its innovative founders. It's what you've been waiting for.
Weed has long been a controversial subject in the United States for decades. However, in countries around the world, marijuana is freely enjoyed amongst its citizens. Unfortunately, America has been one of the last to make the green pleasure available, despite the fact that it has proven medicinal properties. Well, this company has ventured into this industry to help break the stigma on Cheech and Chong's lunch special. Rose Bud LLC. Founders Alana Rose Payton and Sankisa Contrell deal in a cannabis dispensary that sells impure hemp 100% online. Hemp having low THC, the chemical that gives you that quote-unquote high, and a large concentration of CBD, cannabidiol. It's known to provide anxiety relief, anti-seizure, neuroprotection against Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis, and Parkinson's disease, pain relief, anti-acne, and used for cancer treatment. Their brand wanted to focus on women highly stressed in this country. They not only sell hemp, but also provide educational services to minorities wanting to get into the cannabis business. Lyfeblood.com would like to salute these two black women for getting into the business most people anticipated would have a lack of diversity, but also opening the doors to others, black women and minorities, who want to get into this cannabis business themselves. Yeah, okay, we're back, man. I totally forgot what I wanted to mention. It was just one of those last minute pieces of information that I came across that I thought it would be great to talk about. But I guess, whatever. I guess it wasn't that important. Anyway, so yeah, the DNC RNC. Did anybody watch any of these things? I think I saw a little bit of the DNC, Democratic National. Wow, it pops. Oh, I just love it. No, the RNC. So the DNC, the RNC, right? Did anybody see it? Let's see the Republican National Convention. So that was going on. So what you guys thought about it? What did you guys think about it? Did you like it? Yeah, I didn't see any of it. I was like, I'll pass the DNC Milwaukee. And then you had the RNC. I forgot where they had it at. Whatever. See, that's how I am so not involved with any of these conventions that are going on. Because both of them is going to tell me some, the same old, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the Republican National Convention and everybody talking is going to be fear-mongering, which I saw clips and sound bites of. And the Democratic National Convention is going to give me some feel-good words saying, okay, it's basically going to be about we got to get away from Trump, which we do, but you can't set your whole policy and get away from Trump. You actually got to actually set a plan on how we going to fix the course or reset the course of where this country is going. So a lot of them is going to give you a little bit of hullabaloo, and I'm not really into it. I don't want to waste my time. I got better things to do. I'll catch up on the sound bites on social media. But, really, for you guys, are we really going to waste our time with some things that we know is just there was one woman that was in the RNC. Oh my God, it was almost like, I forgot her name, but she was screaming on the podium talking about some craziness. It was almost like out of a movie. Oh man, what was her name? She was screaming, and this one I wasn't really going into the RNC lady screaming. I know it's gonna pop up. Yeah, Kimberly Wilfoyle. Oh my God, it was so eerie to what she was talking about. She ends it with her hands out like, la, la, la. Oh my God, bro. It was so eerie. I'm like, what is this woman talking about? Who is she talking to? Oh man. From what I seen from sound bites, it was just a bunch of fear mongering. The mud people are gonna come living next to y'all, white folks in the suburbs. Look out for this is what America's gonna turn into. Blah, 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 blah. A bunch of fear mongering. And I hope, I don't know. I want to give credit to human beings' intelligence, but then at the same time, I've watched a lot of shows on talking to Trump supporters, Trump voters, and I'm like, wow, no wonder they voted for Trump. Because, I'm just like, yo, there is the IQ level is like, my cat got more intelligence than some of these Trump supporters, and oh my God, and I can't understand where they're coming from. The RNC, what's their platform? It's just, as I can't think of any better words to come up with, just fear mongering and scaring people and trying to just to drum up people's fear of the other. And you know what? It works. That's how Trump got in. That's how a lot of presidents in the past got in. But I'm just hoping, even in the last 4 years, there are some people with common sense. I know that's hard 2 words to use when I'm talking about the RNC. But then somebody's gonna say, wait a second, this dude ain't really do anything. Why am I following him? Like, why am I listening to people? Like, or just get upset to say, wait a second, all that stuff you spoke about in the last 4 years, you didn't really do anything. And all those things that people were talking about you that I didn't believe before, but when I did my own research, it turns out to be true. So why am I following you? I'm hoping that there's a kernel of some sort of common sense in people's minds, that they're actually, even if they want to listen to CNN or all those on major news networks that they've said that it was just fake news. I'm hoping people did their own research, like the Trump school thing. Like, I was talking to one person, they had no idea. He wasn't a Trump supporter, but he was just asking him what I felt about Trump. And I was like, you don't know about Trump, you? And he had no idea. I'm like, this information has to become public knowledge. This dude is a swindler. He's a snake oil salesman. He sells you the youth elixir, and it's really Kool-Aid. If he could put cyanide into Kool-Aid and kill you like Jim Jones, he would, if he could get money out of you. That's how much I see through this dude. You know what I mean? Besides all the other stuff about Trump. And then the DNC, it's all about the hope. Hope this, hope that, get rid of this dude. No plan, just some feel-good stuff. And, I was like, okay. And I'm listening to sound bites. I'm like, yeah, I heard that before. Yeah. So what we going to do now? And it's I don't know. What else going on? Yeah, the 57 years after the March in Washington, it happened again on August 28th. It was announced by Al Sharpton during during the memorial service for George Floyd, and it was organized with Sharpton's National Action Network and Martin Luther King III. And a bunch of people was there. I got to tell you, when Trump was talking, let me drink some water. Oh, you know what? I just remembered what I want to give y'all. I'm gonna say it right after I talk about this thing. I remember what that last minute thing I want to talk to you about, and I'll get right to it. So yeah, so it was on. What's the I can't remember, the reflective pool. I think it's called the pool of reflection. I think it's something like pool of reflection, Washington. Yeah, the reflecting pool. I knew it was that. So so they had it, and a lot of people were talking, and Martin Luther King III's daughter was talking. Yolanda King, the mothers of Dontre Hamilton, Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery was there to speak. So a lot of different people were there to speak. And I have to say, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't know it was happening. I had no idea it was happening. I read a lot, just trying to stay up on what the latest news is. I'm constantly reading, looking on my social media, looking at these different sites. I didn't know it was happening. Maybe I found out about it and I didn't go back to it and I forgot. I don't know what happened. But anyway, it happened. I found out over the weekend. I was like, oh, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at it. And, I thought it was pretty cool. And let me tell you, it was a lot more than what Trump had when he had the reflecting pool, when he was trying to do it at D.C. And, my God, the people came right back out and just crowded from one end of the reflecting pool to the other, and you had everybody talking. So it was cool. I thought that was in commemoration of the 57 years. I wonder what they're going to do for 6-0. So I think it should be important that they do something. 60 years after the March on Washington. But this is the thing. So where are we now with it? It's cool that everybody gathered up. It was a bunch of people there. It was a lot of black folk there, white folk, a lot of different types of folk. The stage was full, crowded. Now, what do we do next? You got everybody charged up. Everybody came out. What do people do next? Because if you have an important moment where you have thousands of people looking at you, feeling the same way you feel, understanding the conditions and the social climate, what's happening right now, the hate that's spewing, what's bubbling up, the racism, the people talking about systemic racism, people talking about white supremacy, people talking about police brutality, people talking about George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, everyone's that's dying at the hands of cops, all these things. And you got the people riled up, ready to go. The energy is riding high. And then after the last word, everybody say, thanks for coming out, everybody go home. I kind of see it as a lost moment. Because here is where it's a prime time to set the agenda. And you did say that about Trump. You did say that about, charging people to do things, to change I even set my clock. To change your feeling about the law, the George Floyd law. The George Floyd law. Let me get that right. And getting everybody up in an uproar about it. HR 7120. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act of 2020. And, Al Sharpton was pushing people to pass this law. I heard the Senate is really, of course, obviously, they're not really doing anything with it. They're stonewalling. But you got to set an agenda. Where do we go from here? And I've always said to people, voting is one part of the process. I said this before on the show. Voting is one part of the process. Because if you have a politician that's going to ask for your vote, they know what's happening. They know what's going wrong. They understand it. They recognize it. They know that you recognize it. And now they're addressing the crowd. What's the next step? You give them your vote. What's the next step? Because how many times have you given your vote to a politician and then they disappear behind the door. They come back out of the door and they say, hey, I couldn't really do what I wanted you, what you were asking for. So sorry about that. Let's wait till the next 4 years. And they got you for your vote, but you didn't get anything in return. So to me, it's got to be something more than voting. And it's got to be something that is something that's brand new. It's something that's never been done before. And you have to hold their feet to the fire. where you keep pressing them. Yeah, you can march, you can protest, but there has to be a specific strategy that the people can implement to keep the pressure high and heavy. So it's just not with your vote. Now, as they sit in that chair, they can't ignore you. They have to think about the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. They got to think about anything else as far as when it comes to underemployment, unemployment, police brutality, when it comes to taxation, that people are taxed correctly, job training, homelessness, housing, all these things that are important to us now. How do we make sure that we get proper legislation that is going to support the working class, support the poor class? It cannot be just on a vote, because everybody's saying vote, 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 vote. Yeah, we got to go and vote. But then we know that already. What do we do afterwards? So that was kind of strange to me. We'll see. I don't know. I would love to speak to Al Sharpton. I love to speak to these folks and say, hey, man, it can't be just about voting. It's got to be more than that, because we're just going to vote and then we're not going to get, we've been there, done that. We know what was going to come of it. Mr. Sharpton, get at me, man. Call me. I'd love to talk to you, brother. What else is going? Okay, so the last thing, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah, I remember. Before I get into the other part. So I'm watching this show, I swear to God, and I have to talk about it. I'm glad it came back to my mind and snapped back into my mind. So, shout out to Hamilton, right? And it's really a good show. It's on Disney Channel. And I want to bring this up because I want to bring out the Hamilton. It's on Play Cast. Let's put it like that. So, it's a great show, man. I've never been to the play myself. People talked about it. There was raving reviews about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right, cool. That's nice. But to see it, I'm like, oh man, this is what people were talking about, man. Oh my God. So shout out to Lin-Manuel Miranda. You have Daveed Diggs, Leslie Odom Jr., Renee Elise Goldsberry, Anthony Ramos, Christopher Jackson, Philippa Sue, Jasmine, what's her name? Jasmine Cephas, I think her name is. Jasmine Cephas Jones. You have another brother called Okeriete Onadoin. Of course, that sounds Nigerian. Straight up Nigerian. John Rua, Ephraim Sykes, and so on and so on and so on. So it was a great play. It was a great play. I still got like 10 minutes to go to it. I would love to see that live. They did a damn thing, man. Whoever wrote that, I'm pretty sure Lin-Manuel Miranda was involved with writing it. But yeah, man, shout out to that play. But there was one specific part that, you know what? And I didn't even realize it because I'm sitting down with the fam. We all watching it. So I'm like, all right, cool. What was I eating? Oh, had Shake Shack. Went to go get Shake Shack. Went to get a burger. I'm like, all right, let's just see this play. Bop, 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 right? So I'm already into it. Got my fries heated up. I hate cold food. I hate even room temperature food. I like my food hot. So I throw it in the microwave, give it like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. My burger's hot. All right, my fries hot, ready to go. Biting into the sandwich. Oh, okay, cool. All right, boom, get into some wrap, pop, 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 pop. And then the part that turned me off happened. So there's the king. I don't know what king, from France or from England. Pretty sure it's England. And oh my God, I'm gagging right now. The actor that plays the king, his name is Jonathan Drew Groff. Groff. This dude has this, oh my God, I'm telling you, as I'm talking, I'm gagging in my throat. This dude has like a saliva problem, right? So I was like, what? I'm thinking maybe it's the part, right? So he has like saliva on his lips. So, it happens, right? It's live. It happens in theater. So it's all there. And I'm choking and I'm like, I can't even watch this part. So my wife she can't even watch it. She's like, oh my god, she's eating the burger. She's staring at me. Oh my god, even my kid was like, oh my god, daddy, is this life? I'm like, yeah, I know, I can't, you just turned me off, yo. So the whole time this guy is just like, before it was just his, you notice that he just had wet lips, so I'm just thinking it's like the sweat and all that. It happens, right? I've seen it before, but it started more and more started coming. I'm like, oh my god, I was just gagging on my burger. I couldn't even look at it. I was just looking away, looking away. So then I'm thinking it's just a one-time thing, right? All right, shit happens, it happens, right? So he has another part, and he comes on later on in the play doing his shtick. Now, mind you, his part is really good. He's a fantastic singer. He has great presence. He is a theater actor. He knows what he's doing, right? It happens again. What is this dude's problem? I cannot pay attention. I was already done with my hamburger at that point. Thank God, all right? Because I think I scarfed my joint down just in case this dude came back. Because everybody else was coming back. This dude has like two parts. He has two parts, that's it. He comes out, he goes, he does this thing for 5 minutes, disappears. But oh my God, so I'm like, nah, there's gotta be a problem with this dude, right? So I go and I Google it, because I Google everything now. So I Google it, and sure enough, this dude has a saliva problem. This dude has a saliva problem. So I'm reading it, and they say, yeah, Groff is saying, yeah, I was very self-conscious about it before. Now I'm totally like comfortable with it. And whenever I get on stage, I just sweat a lot, and I just saliva build up, and it just happens. I just go with it. I'm like, what? So you just slobbering all over the crowd in the first row. You just laying it on. It's like he's got Gallagher saliva. So everybody know who Gallagher is. Like Gallagher is a comedian that smashes fruits. So people put on like the what do you call it? The oh my God, the rain suit little jacket. It's like a plastic thing that fits over your head. I can't remember the name right now, but people go to a Gallagher show because he's gonna smash fruits. Fruits are gonna go. So I guess when people go to this freaking play or anywhere where this Groff cat is at, they put on that goddamn poncho. That's what I was talking about. They put on that plastic $5 poncho because this guy is gonna spray the first row. I'm telling you, I'm like, what is going on, dude? Yo, it is so crazy, right? This dude has a real talent, right? He can sing, he can act, great stage presence, but yet he has this biological crazy function where he has to build up the saliva and he sweats his ass off on stage. He said it happens every time. He said he was doing another play, and he felt mad self-conscious. He was, other than Hamilton, before Hamilton, and his character, it was required for his character to get up to the front of the stage. Yo, he said people were laughing. Some people were like, oh my God. And it's like the whole front row, he's spitting all over everybody. I'm like, damn. Yo, man. He said he comfortable with it. I don't know how comfortable he was, but I'm like, goddamn, bro. You got to do something. We got to put a muzzle on your ass. Put a hood over your mouth, because damn, you a talented dude, but Jesus Christmas, this dude is just wetting up the whole crowd in the first row. So it's hard for me to watch that, man. It's hard. I think I could watch that Hamilton one time, or I think I just might speed past this dude's part or close my eyes entirely. Yo, Zanzas. All right, so I think we're gonna go into the next piece. What's going on? Yeah, we're gonna go into the next part of the show. So what music we got going? The music for the next show is for the next segment. Before we get into the next segment, we gonna get into Yasmin. We haven't played her song in a while, so we're gonna replay her joint. The song is called Caroline, featuring Taylor from Earth, or something like that. And then following up behind Yasmin, after Yasmin, is Will Sully. He got a new joint out. It's called Vitals. This joint is hard as nails. Listen to it. You'll love it. Both artists. So check this out. We'll be right back. All right.
Mirror, no space for me.
Ooh, a GCOM exclusive.
You're so pretty when you're on your knees, Caroline. I forgive you. Caroline, I don't blame you anymore.
It's GCOM Radio
I am one of the flyers.
on iHeartRadio.
Yo, Sully flow been touched by God. Check the vitals. I'm the devil for solos and squads are sitting idle. A reality check for some niggas that feel entitled. Legality stress if they tested from homicidal. Die young, never get rich wasn't the plan, my youth. When we been giving out all you cans like Ryu. Some cuz, some pyro, yes, thugs can cry too. I've been a mess like it's the tracks that I'm tied to. You see a crack up in the sky that heaven might shine through. These past years been hell on earth from a bird's eye view. They want you to win, you win, they say why you? You lose, you on your own, ain't no crew behind you. That's them crabs in the barrel, they snapping their claws. They gave you the contract and you skipped over the clause. Now them jealous bottom feeders wanna even the score. But every fight is not a fight, you gotta watch for the draw. That last line came courtesy, a ratty dog. We learned of some tragedies we ain't got a strategy for. Invest time in me instead of raggedy whores. I'm a boss and the worker, you yakety yak more. Went from knocking to kicking in doors, to can't kick it with y'all. I know the crickets come before the applause. I see a gimmick on the shelf, I get up out of the stores. A mind trip to buy shit my mama couldn't afford. If I flip a little bit, my plan is to buy more. I know minorities are America's I saw. So with the lines, I'm a crime lord, I break bylaws. It's homicide soon as the engineer presses record. They call me Joey from Philly, but my name Tom Starr. The critics that couldn't kill me gave me they encore. They say they love me, I hit them with the yeah, I'm sure. While I'm clicking the seatbelt in the rear Concorde. Streets made us, please don't shame us, I tell a savior. When Doc put pins in your head, cause hell raised ya. The bar's just as strong as the beat, I sell danger. The stars belong right at my feet, I excel greater. Instead of handing favors, I hand you this euthanasia. Money rooted the slayers that turned into tomb raiders. My life is GTA, city of Andreas. A safe house located somewhere where Pompeii is.
Okay, we are back. That was Yasmin, Caroline, featuring Taylor from the Earth, and Will Sully coming up with that hot joint, that hip hop song, real hard with Vitals, man. Loving it what that dude's bringing to the table. So go to, as I always say, go to music streaming. Go to their profiles at on my IG profile. I always put the IG link on there, their handle, and buy their music, man. Buy their music. Buy it. Don't stream, buy it. All right, so what we got coming up next? What's going on? All right, so right before we going into the next show or the next piece of the show. Yo, seriously, as I said before, man, that thing got me gagging. I swear to God, that dude is like suffering fucking tash all over the front row. Oh man, I swear to God, my man spitting. Yeah, hey, he reminds me of what's the name? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Roger Rabbit got. I go. I can't even do it. I used to be able to do that. I can't do it. Please. And he's spitting all over the deck. Anyway, it's crazy. Yeah, man. So let's go into the news you need to know, and we'll close out the show on this last segment. All right, we'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Around the world and right in your neighborhood, it's the news you need to know.
Elon establishes Neuralink tech linking the brain to AI. Elon Musk has made a breakthrough in syncing the human brain with artificial intelligence. How did he do this? He performed a live stream of a demonstration using farm animals, in this particular case, a pig. Elon's company Neuralink has been able to wirelessly transmit brain activity without the use of external hardware. This technology has a potential application that will have humans interlink to control computers, prosthetic limbs, and other machines. During a Q&A, one person asked if they would be able to control video games. Musk amusingly answered yes. The BCI, brain-computer interface, would read and write millions of active neurons from a small battery-powered implant. BCI is nothing new. Research teams, including the BrainGate Consortium, has been working on this for over 15 years, mostly for medical research. Bolu Ajiboye, an associate professor of biomedical engineering at Case Western Reserve University and principal investigator with BrainGate, who is not involved with Neuralink, says, quote, "There are some really smart people, innovative people working at Neuralink. They know what they're doing, and I'm excited to see what they present," unquote. Amazon buys a fleet of EV vans. Amazon ordered 1,800 Mercedes-Benz electric vehicles as a step towards being carbon neutral by 2040. The vans have been purchased for the European market. 1,200 of the vehicles will be for the e-Sprinter, and 600 will be the mid-size e-Vitos. Earlier in the year, Amazon ordered 100,000 electric delivery vehicles from startup Rivian Automotive. It's interesting to also know Amazon announced in February 2019 that it would invest $700 million in Rivian. As part of a deal with Mercedes-Benz, the automaker committed to joining the Climate Pledge, an Amazon program that promises to be, as Jeff Bezos puts, quote, "the most sustainable transportation fleet in the world," unquote. Other companies are planning to purchase and deploy their own electric vehicles as well. United Parcel Service has agreed to buy 10,000 vehicles from Arrival, a UK-based manufacturer of battery-powered commercial trucks and buses. Also, General Motors is working on an all-electric van named BV1. GM plans to start production in 2021. And that is the news you need to know. All right. So, we're back. So what is the deal? What we got going on? All right. So two subjects. So the last part that I got to in as far as what I had my eye on this past last week really. So, you know, of course, the shooting of Jacob Blake, that was terrible. Everybody knows that this brother got shot in the back in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And of course, after that, there were a whole lot of protests that kind of popped up in support of Jacob Blake and against the police officer that shot him in the back. And it popped up in New York. Of course, it popped up in Wisconsin, Sacramento, California, and more. Basketball athletes, NBA and WNBA decided not to play their scheduled games. Kenny Smith walked out of Inside the NBA show, as everyone already knows. The LA Clippers coach Doc Rivers was another guy that he spoke about what he felt about Jacob Blake. And he says, you know, black people love America, but America doesn't love us. Okay, So, you know, it's funny. I'll get to that in a second. And the last thing that I saw was Chris Webber. You know, Chris Webber as another ex-NBA player that he's a sports analyst. He talks about the games, and he choked up about talking about Jacob Blake, and he really choked up, and it was pretty crazy. So what do I think about that? And I feel for these brothers. I feel for everybody that, you know, it's emotionally draining. It's emotionally draining for every American, especially for Black Americans. It's emotionally draining because we keep seeing this over and over and over again. And even after these 2 months, 3 months has been going on with coronavirus and the protests, it doesn't seem like it's slowing down because, of course, there is legislation. There is always going to be support across America with precincts that protects rogue police officers, that protects systemic racism in police precincts. A lot of people may say, man, the system is broken. A lot of people say, no, the system is not broken. It's working exactly as it's supposed to, as it's designed. So Chris Webber was upset. He was crying. And the LA Clippers coach, Doc Rivers, he was also upset, choking up. And he said the line, Black people love America, but America doesn't like Black people. Yeah, you know what? And it makes me think, everybody. It makes me think. You know what? It kind of made me think about the Will Smith episode. The famous Will Smith episode where you saw Will Smith's topped it off with his acting chops on that one particular piece when Ben Vereen was his father and he didn't feel like sticking around. And what did Will Smith say? He's again being all braggadocio. He was beating his chest to the uncle. I forgot the name of the uncle's name. I forgot the name. Uncle Phil. And he's like, I don't need him. Why don't he love me, man? Right? So yeah, that was a tough part, man. And I felt, sorry, that's the first thing I thought of when I heard the LA Clippers coach Doc Rivers talk, right? And that's what I thought of. Sorry, folks, that's what I thought of because he was getting emotional. And what's wrong? What's going on? This stop. He said go. He was getting all emotional, and Chris Webber was crying. And you know what? I'm kind of done with the crying thing. All right. And a lot of people might say, "Yo, Nova, I don't know, man. You sounding kind of eerily similar to toxic masculinity. Men don't cry. Men, Nova, what are you talking about? You got to express your feelings. You can't keep it bottled up." This is what I'm talking about toxic masculinity, right? That's what everybody's going to tell me. But no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying these brothers are they should have their moment, whether it's, in their own moment or on camera. Your emotions going to take the best of you. I'm an emotional person. I'm a very passionate person. But I'm at a point when it comes to this where there are no more tears to give. There are no more tears to give. And for Doc to say, Black people don't love America, America doesn't love us. And I'm like, well, tell me something I don't know. Why even have that conversation? And everything that Chris Webber was saying, it just sounded so, for lack of a better word, weak. Weak not in the sense of expressing your emotion. Weak in the sense that, okay, we know this now. It has been proven, and everybody in America from the protests that we've seen know this now. It is becoming general consensus. It's becoming the main topic in a lot of homes. It's becoming the uncomfortable 8,000-pound elephant in the room at various workplaces across America. At some point, there's no more room for tears. There's no more time for tears. Have your moment, brother. Have your moment, brothers. But now is the time to stand up get your back straight, your chest out, and get the work going. This ain't nothing new. We've seen this with our ancestors. We've seen it in previous generations. Now it's at a point where nobody can deny it. What are you going to do about it? Look, even soldiers cry. Like that movie Saving Private Ryan. Tom Hanks' character cried, and he was a tough captain, or whatever you want to call it. He was the CO of that band of merry men, right? Tom Hanks' character had his moment where he was by himself and he was crying because that moment was so gut-wrenching for him. You have to release it. So I'm not expecting anybody to hold it in, and somehow you're more of a man if you do hold it in. But you will have your moment. Now it's time to get up, get that pistol in your hand, be armed, and get up and handle your opposition. I'm saying figuratively speaking. Okay? And there are a good amount of soldiers were dying. Or watch any war movie, soldiers cry. But they just don't cry, and that's it. And they hunker down in the fetal position, and then they see missiles and bombs going off over them. They're like, oh no, what do? Even though there's someone from one player, but most soldiers get up, they have their moment, and they see they mourn the loss of their fellow soldiers, and then they get up and they push on, and they fight because there's a war to be won. There's a mission to accomplish. We understand now. We are fully aware of this now, not just the black community. Now it's time to wipe your tears, brother. And if I was there, I would hug them. I would hold their shoulders, put my arm around them and say, it's okay. It's okay. We can have a moment together. But now let's wipe your tears. And then we're going to go out this door. We're going to get up and we're going to face this together. A hook or crook, we're going to get this done. Justice will prevail. So excuse me if I saw one that was shared on a tweet. They was like, oh, this is what she felt for them. And it was more like, oh, look at this. I don't know. She didn't do that in that way. She's a famous social media influencer, but she was just showing that this man has emotion, he has feelings, and this is what people are going through. She wanted to share like, oh my God. But I kind of said, and I received that as a moment of pity. There's no pity. No, I don't want your pity. I don't want you to feel bad. No, I'm not trying to seek humanity in someone that's trying to kill me. I'm not trying to seek mercy from somebody that wants me to just wither away and die. No time for tears. Wipe your tears, my friend. Now it's time to go up and do battle. We see what's happening. Now it's become blatant. Now they're telling you how they feel about you. Now I got to smack your legs, smack your knees, smack your ankles. Get up. Get up now. Let's go. So, it's unfortunate those brothers feel like that. But I ain't got no time for crying. And I'm not asking, and I'm not seeking out someone's humaneness from the very person that's trying to put their foot on my back. Not doing it. Which leads me into the next story. So, Jacob Blake, the protests, everything that's happening. A lot of people, were protesting in Wisconsin. And we see that in a variety of different posts that were happening on IG. So I posted my own support of what was happening. And unfortunately, I posted two people that got shot during the protests in Wisconsin. In Kenosha. So this guy, let me just get this right. All right. I just wanted to make sure. Excuse me. All right. So I post the two pictures of the people that got shot, and it was the two people that got shot and one person that got injured. One guy got shot in the arm, or whatever the case may be. Right. So I don't know if it was in a bicep or I think the forearm. But anyway, so this young kid named Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old kid, shoots these guys. And the Twitter is ablaze, right? This guy shoots two people dead, injures one. He walks to the police and nothing happens to him. He makes signs with his hand while he has his AR-15 slung around his shoulder in front of him, and nothing happens to this guy. And everybody's telling the police, yo, this is the guy that shot these two other people over there. They just roll right past him. Crazy, right? Interesting. What does that tell you? So I posted the two faces of the people that were shot. Got a lot of response from it. People liked it, just to show some support. And it was Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber. Okay, so the video, you see the video of the actual shooting of Rittenhouse shooting these two. Actually, you see the guy shooting them. I believe. Huber and another guy. I forget this other guy's name. The guy that got shot in the arm. So anyway, that's not my focus. You guys could look that up. Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber both got shot. One of them got shot in the head. Another one got shot in. Actually, they thought they got shot in the head. One got shot in the heart, based on the coroner's report. And the other guy got shot someplace, I can't remember, but they both died, unfortunately. So I posted that, and then a lot of people were showing support. They were showing likes and everything like that, putting their likes on there. But then the other thing is I got a lot of the right-wingers that were responding to Rosenbaum. They were saying that, this guy Rosenbaum, he was starting things. He actually was the one that was that caused this kid Rittenhouse to shoot him, and Rittenhouse was defending himself, and this guy's he was saying the word nigger, and actually he's a child molester. He was locked up, and I was like, show me. I don't believe anybody. I was like, show me the evidence. And it turns out, oh my God, well, they were onto something. They found information. Number one, Rosenbaum has a past, which has nothing to do with if you have a past where you got locked up before, but he has a past, right? But the thing that really got me was, number one, Rosenbaum, when I saw the video about the nigger part, and he did say that, but he was saying that to the white dudes that were armed. He was saying like, yo, you gonna shoot me, nigga? You gonna shoot me, nigga? I'm like, that's the second time I've seen it. The first time I seen it is when a black kid with two white friends, I think, either two or one, even in Far Rockaway on the beach there, he was getting hemmed up by the police. His white friends came to defend him, and one of the white friends was like, yo, this nigga, da-da-dee-da. I'm like, So we're not saying anything. I didn't say anything about it. I didn't even have time to mention it on the show because I kept forgetting to put it on the list. So that was like, oh my God. Okay, I know you're trying to support him, but where is this coming from? What you're saying this word? I mean, I guess this kid messed the memo. So now this guy, Joseph Rosenbaum, actually did say that to these group of armed men that were there to, quote unquote, protect property. So he said, shoot me, nigga, shoot me. I'm like, okay, folks, let me just say this. Number one, to all my white people that's listening to the show, that's been even artists, everybody, let me just say this. If you missed the memo, I don't care in what context you're putting it in. I don't care if you're doing it to defend, or you're stepping in to defend the other black protesters. I don't care how cool you are with your friends that you've known for 15, 20 years, and you say it amongst each other. I do not, let me repeat that. I do not, I'll say it a third time. I do not want you to say the N-word to me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It should never come out of a mouth of a white person. And if I have to explain it to you in 2020, then we can't be friends. I don't care. We just can't be friends. Because you just missed the entire point of why white people cannot say the word nigger. Okay? So please. And you know, it's funny, and I always say this, and I heard it before with other people. I never say kike. I never say spick. I never say wop. I never say any derogatory name referring to any other race of people on this planet. In any conversation. Even if I had beef, if I was highly passionate, I never said it drunk. I never said it, bro. I've never said it. I don't understand. How is it that white people keep on saying the word nigger? And I'm not talking about racist people. I'm talking about the so-called liberal, open-minded, quote-unquote woke white folk that still want to say the word. Yo, what is y'all major malfunction? Man. Yeah, don't say that word. That's number one. So the other thing that they did say, he was a child molester. I don't know. So they have in the Wisconsin, you know, I don't know. I forget where you get it from. When you want to run up the history of someone's charges or jail time, he was in jail for several years. They say that he was charged with child something or other, not a fucking kid. When he's 36 now, it happened when he was 17. So it is true that he did do that. He had a pass. I don't know what capacity. I don't know how this happened. What he was 17. Was he dealing with a chick that was younger than him? He was 15, and that's technically molestation because she's underage. Who knows? I don't know the details of it. But what I can tell you is, I had to remove his post from my IG page. I'm sorry. I don't care what he does. Damn near, you got to be Jesus Christ. You got to explain to me how that got on there for you to do all that for whatever. And if you did do it, you got to damn near, be Jesus, Jesus H. Christ. For me to say, oh, okay, it's cool. I understand. Nah, I'm not going for it, bro. I have to take that off. Take that off. I don't know the details. But because I don't know the details, what I do know, you do have those charges under your name, and there's nobody to defend you on that. You have passed away. You can't defend yourself, and I do not support child, whatever you want to call it, in any way, shape, or form. I don't listen to R. Kelly. I haven't listened to R. Kelly's song in years. And when it first dropped, every time an R. Kelly song come on, I'd be like, yo, that gotta change. I'm not saying he's not a dope artist, but that ain't got nothing to do with the fact that he's a dirtbag. I don't listen to R. Kelly. So, I had to pull him from there. So anyway, I know what these right wingers were saying, because one of them was saying, well, how was Kyle Rittenhouse? How was he racist? I don't understand. He didn't say anything, do anything that was racist. Matter of fact, blah, 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 blah. Listen, man, racism has gotten sophisticated. It's not always as the person with the missing tooth, they disheveled, down south, the stereotype of what we think a racist is. I don't care about no niggers. I don't have no problem with niggers. They're some of my best friends. I don't care about that. I don't care about all that. Don't throw that in my face. Because racism has gotten sophisticated to the point where it's the person that has a suit and tie on with a nice cut on, pearly whites, wants to be your friend and pats you on the back. It's okay. It's quite all right. We are good to you people. And then they're going to be nice and they're going to slowly drive that knife into your back. So you have to be very keen on how racism can play its part, especially when the light is on them. They'll change the words. They'll make the words patriotic, open-minded, to make it seem like it's all fair and good and democratic. And it comes from a nice, clean-cut guy, Richard Spencer. Okay, even though Richard Spencer even know, but I'm saying, that's a bad example because he's a known white supremacist. Some particular politicians, let me say, Okay, clean cut guy. So, racism can be very sophisticated on how it's presented. So it can move about, not in the shadows, but it can move about right in front of your face. And I just put together a list on how I know the Rittenhouse is, let's say, a suspected white supremacist. Number one, I don't believe in any of the Proud Boys or the Boogaloo Boys, those armed groups that say they're not racist. And, they're just down there to, quote unquote, protect property, which is suspect in itself once you keep on saying, because they've been documented many times with their affiliations and talking points, how they feel about certain things. And, it's very slick and very well packaged the way they put it to you, or put it when they're talking to folks on camera, reporters and such. And Rittenhouse was in a group of other, I don't know if they were Proud Boys or Boogaloo Boys, but they followed the same thing. I think so, because Boogaloo Boys, they like to wear those Hawaiian t-shirts along with their other tactical gear. So he was amongst a group of them, quote unquote, protecting property. So, you know what they say, right? Birds of a feather, okay? So he's protecting property. Why? So my man, I haven't heard anybody when they hear something going down in another state and there's property being burned, like say like a Target. I've never heard someone say, I gotta go get my guns because I gotta protect Target. I'm like, what? Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Nobody goes to state over because there's a protest happening and there could be some arson happening and a building is burning, say Target or freaking Burlington Coat Factory or something. Nobody grabs their guns and says, well, I've got to protect property. Let's go out there right now. Like, I don't know. It's ridiculous. Why the fuck is he down there? So you got to think about that. And a lot of times these boys that are armed, these Proud Boys, these Boogaloo Boys, these people wearing Hawaiian t-shirts, they're armed and they're going down to protest. They're not going down to protest to protect property. They're going down there to get into some shit. They're going down there to go Negro hunting. And they're using the protest as a reason to shoot people. Well, I was protecting the store and these bunch of people, they were running in there stealing Twizzlers and I couldn't let that happen because I'm a law-abiding citizen. So that's why I shot him. No, motherfucker, you want to shoot somebody black and get away with it. Number two, this young man crossed state lines, allegedly with the help of his parents, with an illegal long gun. He was 17 years old. There should be no reason why this 17-year-old had this AR-15 to prowl the neighborhood in Kenosha. I think it was a short distance. He was in Illinois, and wherever he was from Illinois, was cross state lines. It was quick. It was probably an hour. It was like 20 miles to get to Kenosha. It's right next to each other. And his parents helped him. So now you got to start questioning his parents. Matter of fact, right there, they should get arrested. Aiding him and abetting. They were doing illegal shit right along with him. Number three, before the shooting, there was a video recording of an exchange between the cops and armed men. And Kyle was present during that casual convo that was happening. So the cops were praising these people. These armed folks were asking for water, and the cop in the what do you call it, the militarized Jeep or whatever you want to call it, RV, was like, sure, we got some water. We'll give you some. Tossed them a couple bottles of water, and the cops thanked the armed men. Hey, thanks for being here. You can see it. The video is out there on YouTube. It's out there around. It's out there. So the cops were working pretty much hand in hand with these vigilantes, with these suspected white supremacists, going around in Kenosha trying to figure out, who they're going to shoot next. So they essentially deputized these young men with guns to go shoot people. They deputized it. They ain't tell them to go home. They ain't tell them to, hey man, you shouldn't, they ain't say nothing like that. They say, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming out. Thanks, here's some water. They deputize them. Number 4, is there, they were saying, the police chief was saying, oh, there was a curfew. There shouldn't be anybody on the streets. They shouldn't be anybody on the streets, right? They shouldn't have been anybody on the streets. So if you can say that there shouldn't have been anybody on the streets, there was a curfew going on. How come this young man was out there on the streets? It goes for him too. If you're going to put a curfew on the protesters, there's a curfew for that fool too. Oh, but wait a second. It's okay for him to be out there. Why? Think about that. So they got the thumbs up to roam around the city. Why? Number 5, in 2018, during a press conference, the Kenosha police chief, David Beth, was talking about dealing with shoplifters. And this guy was brazen. He was out in the open with his racism. He actually said on camera. He actually said on camera, I quote, "We need to build warehouses and put these people into it and lock them away for the rest of their lives." He continues, "Let's stop them from truly at least some of these males going out and getting 10 other women pregnant and having small children." Sometimes you got to give these racists room to talk, man. You got to give them room and they're going to let all their racism out. And certainly this dude, the police chief, he was letting all his racism out. And then he tried to catch himself and then talking about, all racists. Nah, fool, we know what you're talking about. We know what communities you patrol. So this Kenosha police chief, David Beth, was repeating and regurgitating same racist tropes about, one, the nature of the people he was referring to. He was talking about the nature of these people. He was talking about the black people. Somehow they're flawed. They're naturally flawed. There's something wrong with them. You got to throw them in jail. Because, they just don't know how to act. They acting crazy. They were just born to rob, cheat, and steal because that's what they do. So he's questioning the nature of these people. Number 2, the over-sexualization of black men and the fatherlessness that happens in these communities. All tired of racist fucking ideas. They cast a negative shadow on the people within the communities they patrol. And all these racist tropes, all they do is just justifies the police department in doing what they're doing because they're just shiftless people that just steal and they just impregnating 10 women and have all these children around. So they ain't no good. So we might as well lock them up for good. That's what you're saying. And even-minded, people of sound mind and common sense are watching this on TV, receiving this information on all this social media, listening to this fool, and they like, yo, this dude is the police chief? Talking this craziness on camera? No wonder Jacob Blake got shot in the back 7 times. And that's what someone said. All of these points can be drawn together to create a picture of systemic racism, bigotry, city-sanctioned violence against the poor class of people of Kenosha, in particular the black people. So it is corrupt, it is rotten to the core, and it goes right to the top with the police chief. So how can you have justice? One of these far-right dudes was saying on my IG account, well, I got this information from the police report. I can't even believe the police report. And I saw a video online of this dude reading through the police report, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, okay. But now, based on all this information that I gave to you, how can you possibly believe the police report? That's what white America fails to realize. They take everything as truth. We have to question everything as black people. Black people always have to think twice when it comes to the criminal justice system. Have to always think twice when it comes to police officers. Have to always think twice when it comes to anything when it comes to institutions in America. We always have to think twice and have one eyebrow raised. I'm like, is this true? And based on all this information that we've seen, that we're absorbing, that we are taking in and doing mental recordings of, we piece all of this together, and this is what we call systemic racism. So I can't convince anybody of that. And you know what's funny? I saw this thing online. This guy talking about on IG, and he shared some old footage in 1957 when they were talking about passing the Civil Rights Act. And there was a reporter that went to a white town, and he was asking people, hey, what do you think about what's going on with the Civil Rights Movement and passing that? And the message underneath this video was saying, white folks then, in 1957, talking about how they feel about the Civil Rights Act sounds exactly the same of when we talk to white people today in Midwest America, talking about how we feel about police brutality, how we feel what's going on with George Floyd, how we feel what's happening with Colin Kaepernick, how we feel about Ahmaud Arbery, Sandra Bland, how we feel about all this systemic racism. The same thing the same thing I was saying about what's that fool name that was on Joe Rogan's show. I can't remember this fool name. I don't care to even remember him. I don't care. And the guy was talking some craziness. Same thing. I'm not here, and I'm not here to convince you. But what I'm gonna do, I am gonna do, is put something forward. It's not about you liking me. It's about justice and about punishment. And I want to have you sit there and have you stand there and actually contemplate, do I love my family more or do I hate niggas more? That's what it comes down to. So I'm not here trying to convince you to become more humane, to take more training, sensitivity training, and for you to come to some epiphany and say, you know what, I was wrong. I'm not here for that. I'm here to pass legislation so I can have you think twice, 3 times, man, do I want to lose my career or do I want to continue with this? We do it all the time when we go about our business, when we drive a car, when we do our taxes, whatever the case may be. Whatever that we do, we want to make sure as law-abiding citizens that we follow it because we want to do what's right. And plus, we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to be penalized. Right? It's the same thing that we have to do about the police officers. We have to get them to start worrying, man, I don't want to lose my pension, man. And we know we can tell the difference between something that happens in the moment. Oh, man, because I've seen those videos. Those cops get caught out there, and the dude is a criminal, whatever the case may be, and they're shooting. I know the difference. I can tell the difference. And there's that, and then there's Jacob Blake. There's that, and there's Sandra Bland. There's that, and there's all the other cases that we've seen consistently on video, on YouTube, on social media. We see the difference. That is what I'm talking about. All right. All right, so we're going to get out of here. I think we're done. Thank you for listening to me for one more week. I will be off next week, okay? I'm going to be off next week. It's Labor Day weekend. I'm going to chill for a little bit. Just for that weekend. Got to have that time off to just to do other things. And plus, I do have to do some other thing that's taking my time. So remember, folks, go to Lyfeblood.com. Check that out. Become a lifer. Join. Share your passions. Build your network. It's about group economics. It's about creating a group economic network and ensuring that we start moving in a direction that's going to empower the community. That's going to empower you as the individual. That's what's important. All right. So check out Lyfeblood.com, please. And we'll be back the following week after Labor Day weekend to make sure that we come back with another show. All right. So thank you guys for listening to me. Leave a comment, leave a tweet, whatever the case. And I'll see you guys the following week. Right. All right. So I'm out of here. Peace.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.